What if I told you that a secret book, hidden from most Bibles, reveals a story so shocking that it was banned? A story of powerful angels who defied God, fell from heaven and corrupted mankind. A story of giant beings, the Nephilim, who brought chaos and destruction to the earth. And a man named Enoch, chosen to witness it all and record the terrifying truth. But why was this book removed from most Bibles? What secrets does it contain? Stay with me to uncover the truth. But before we start, welcome to Bible Stories. If you love deep biblical mysteries and hidden truths, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video. Let's dive deep into one of the most forbidden stories ever told. To understand this forbidden story, we must first understand the man at the center of it all. Enoch. Who was Enoch? The Bible tells us that Enoch was not just an ordinary man. He was a man so righteous, so close to God, that he never tasted death. Genesis chapter 5 verse 24 says, "And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." Enoch was the great-grandfather of Noah, a man who lived in a time of growing corruption and wickedness on the earth. Unlike the world around him, Enoch chose a different path. He walked with God. But what exactly does it mean to walk with God? Did he receive divine secrets that no one else knew? Did he witness things beyond human comprehension? His writings, preserved in the Book of Enoch, reveal a story so powerful, so unsettling, that it was later removed from most Bibles. A book that speaks of mighty angels descending to earth, forbidden knowledge, and a race of hybrid giants known as the Nephilim. But what did Enoch see that made God take him away from the earth? What secrets did he uncover that were so dangerous they had to be hidden for centuries? Stay with me as we unravel the shocking and mysterious events recorded in the Book of Enoch. As Enoch walked with God, he was shown visions, mysteries beyond human understanding. One of the most shocking revelations was the story of the Watchers, a group of powerful angels tasked with observing humanity. But what happened next changed the course of history forever. In the beginning, the Watchers were sent to Earth with a divine mission to watch over humanity, to guide and protect them. But instead of remaining faithful to their purpose, these angels became tempted by the beauty of human women. Genesis chapter 6 verses 1 to 2 tells us, "And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. These sons of God, the Watchers, were consumed by lust. Their leader, an angel named Shemihazah, feared that if only he committed this sin, he alone would bear the punishment. So, he convinced the other angels to join him in rebellion against God." Book of Enoch chapter 6 verse 2 says, "And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. And so, 200 mighty angels swore an oath on the summit of Mount Hermon, a cursed pact that bound them together in defiance of God's law. As the Watchers descended to earth, they took human wives and bore children. But these were no ordinary children. They were giants, beings of immense size and power, known as the Nephilim. These Nephilim terrorized humanity, turning the world into a place of violence, chaos, and bloodshed. But the sin of the Watchers didn't stop there. They brought with them forbidden knowledge, secrets never meant for human hands. Book of Enoch, chapter 8, verses 1 to 3 reveals their dark teachings. Azazel taught men the art of war, how to forge swords, knives, shields, and armor, turning men into killers. Barakel revealed the secrets of astrology, allowing men to seek omens and signs instead of trusting in God. Kokabiel introduced sorcery and spells, leading men and women into dark magic and wickedness. With this forbidden wisdom, humanity became corrupt. Violence, greed, and sin spread like a plague, defiling the earth. The watchers thought they had escaped God's judgment, but he was watching. As the cries of the innocent reached heaven, God prepared his response, a judgment so great that it would shake the very foundations of the earth. But what was the greatest consequence of their actions? What did God do in response to this great rebellion? Stay with me as we reveal the divine punishment that changed history forever. The sin of the Watchers had changed the world forever. These fallen angels, once guardians of mankind, had corrupted everything they touched, and now their unnatural offspring, the Nephilim, walked the earth. But who were these beings? What horrors did they unleash upon humanity? And why did their very existence provoke the wrath of God? The Bible speaks of a mysterious race, the Nephilim, born from the unholy union of the Watchers and human women. Genesis chapter 6 verse 4 tells us, "The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came in to the daughters of men, and bore children to them. They were the mighty men of old, the men of renown." But these were not heroes. These were giants, beings of immense size, strength, and terrifying power. They were not like normal humans. They were unnatural. Book of Enoch, chapter 7, verse 2 describes them. "And they became pregnant, and they bore great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. The Nephilim devoured everything in their path. At first, they consumed all the crops, all the animals, and all the food on earth. But when that was not enough, they turned to something even more horrifying. The Nephilim became rulers over the earth, warlords of destruction, spreading fear and terror. They devoured everything until the land could no longer sustain them. Then, they turned on mankind itself. Book of Enoch. Chapter 7, verse 5 reveals their ultimate horror. "And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh, and drink the blood." The earth was now a place of chaos. Mankind had once been created in the image of God, but now, through the influence of the Watchers and their offspring, they had become murderers, idolaters, and worshippers of evil. There was no more righteousness, no more faith, no more hope. Only violence and corruption. The fallen angels, the Watchers, had defied God. The Nephilim had destroyed the earth, and mankind had become lost in wickedness. But God was watching. Genesis chapter 6, verse 5 to 6 says, "The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord regretted that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him to his heart." God had seen enough, and judgment was coming. What would be the fate of the Watchers? What terrible punishment awaited the Nephilim? And what catastrophe would God unleash upon the earth? Stay with me, because what happens next is beyond anything you've ever imagined. The earth trembled under the weight of wickedness. The Watchers had fallen, the Nephilim had ruled in terror, and mankind had become corrupted beyond recognition. But one man had not forgotten God. His name was Enoch, and through him, a divine revelation would be given. Enoch was not like other men. Unlike the rest of humanity, who had embraced sin and destruction, Enoch walked with God. Genesis chapter 5, verse 24 tells us, "And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him." But where did God take him? The Book of Enoch reveals an astonishing truth. Enoch was taken into the heavens, where he witnessed the mysteries of the universe and the judgment of the fallen angels. Book of Enoch, chapter 14, verse 8 to 9. "And the vision was shown to me, and I beheld the heavens, and lo, the clouds invited me, and a mist summoned me, and the course of the stars and the lightning sped and hastened me. And the winds in the vision caused me to fly and lifted me upward and bore me into heaven. Imagine the sight. A man lifted beyond the earth, soaring into the heavens, witnessing things no mortal had ever seen. Enoch was not merely given knowledge. He was chosen as a messenger of God to warn both mankind and the watchers of the judgment to come. But what he saw in the heavens would shake him to his core. The watchers, the fallen angels who had once defied God, were now in terror. They knew their sins had reached heaven. They knew their punishment was near. But in desperation, they turned to Enoch. Book of Enoch, chapter 13, verse 4-5. And they besought me to draw up a petition for them that they might find forgiveness, and to read their petition in the presence of the Lord of heaven. The mighty Shemi-Hazah, the leader of the watchers, pleaded. Azazel, the one who had taught mankind war, violence, and sorcery, begged for mercy. All the fallen ones who had once defied God and corrupted mankind now trembled in fear. And so Enoch, the righteous one, wrote their petition. He carried their plea before the Almighty, and he waited for God's answer. Then came the divine response. And it was not what the watchers had hoped for. Book of Enoch, chapter 14, verse 3-5. You have been in heaven, but all the mysteries had not yet been revealed to you, and you knew worthless ones. And these, in the hardness of your hearts, you have made known to the women, and through these mysteries women and men work much evil on earth. Therefore you shall have no peace. God rejected their plea. Their fate was sealed. For their crimes against heaven and earth, there would be no mercy. But what would be their punishment? What would happen to the Nephilim, their monstrous offspring? Stay with me, because what happens next will shake the very foundation of the world. The earth trembled under the weight of sin and corruption. The watchers had fallen. The Nephilim had ruled with terror, and mankind had embraced wickedness beyond redemption. But God, in his divine justice, would not let this evil stand forever. Mankind was meant to flourish in righteousness, but instead they had become consumed by sin. The Nephilim, the offspring of the fallen angels and human women, had brought chaos, destruction, and bloodshed upon the earth. Genesis 6:5-7 tells us, The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. So the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, for I regret that I have made them. The divine decision was made. The world had to be cleansed. But in the midst of this darkness, there was one man who had remained faithful. His name was Noah. Genesis 6:8. But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Unlike the wicked generations before him, Noah was a righteous man, blameless among his people, and he walked with God. So God spoke to Noah, revealing his plan. Genesis 6:13-14. So God said to Noah, I am going to put an end to all people, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. I am surely going to destroy both them and the earth. So make yourself an ark of cypress wood. Noah obeyed. While the world mocked him, he built the ark, exactly as God commanded. But as he worked, the watchers, the fallen angels, awaited their own terrible fate. The watchers had defied heaven. They had abandoned their place, taken human wives, and taught forbidden knowledge to mankind. Now, their punishment was at hand. Jude 1:6. And the angels who did not keep their positions of authority, but abandoned their proper dwelling, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day. The archangels of God descended, bringing divine justice upon the fallen ones. Book of Enoch 10:12. Bind them for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth till the day of their judgment. Shemi-Hazah, their leader, was cast into the abyss. Azazel, the corrupter of men, was buried in utter darkness, and all the watchers who had betrayed God were bound in chains beneath the earth, awaiting the final judgment. But what about their terrible offspring, the Nephilim? Their rampage had scarred the earth. They were too powerful, too wicked, and God would not let them escape judgment. The skies darkened, the heavens rumbled. The wrath of God was about to be unleashed. Genesis 7:11-12. On that day all the springs of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. And rain fell on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. The waters rose, swallowing cities, kingdoms, and empires. The Nephilim, once the mighty rulers of the earth, now fled in terror. Book of Enoch 7:5. And they began to devour one another's flesh, and to drink the blood. The giants, who had once feasted upon mankind, now turned on each other. Their kingdoms collapsed, their strength failed, and as the floodwaters consumed the land, their existence was wiped away. Genesis 7:23. Every living thing on the face of the earth was wiped out. People and animals and the creatures that move along the ground and the birds were wiped from the earth. The earth was cleansed. The corruption was gone. The Nephilim were no more. Or were they? Could the Nephilim truly be gone forever? Or would their legacy of darkness somehow return? Stay with me, because the story isn't over yet. The flood had come. The earth had been cleansed. The watchers were imprisoned. The Nephilim were destroyed. And yet the mystery lingers. Was this truly the end of the story? Or did something survive the flood? What happened to Enoch? Unlike Noah, who endured the flood, one man never saw death. His name was Enoch. Genesis 5:24. Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more, because God took him away. He was chosen by God, taken into divine realms, and shown visions of the future. Book of Enoch 14:8-9. And I saw the heaven open, and I entered in, and I saw a high throne, its appearance like crystal, and around it was a great light. God revealed secrets to him, the fate of the watchers, the coming of the Messiah, and the final judgment of the world. Then he vanished. No grave, no remains, no death. Was Enoch taken to heaven to live eternally, or was he being preserved for something greater, perhaps a future return? And while he was taken away, another mystery remained. Are the Nephilim truly gone? The flood had wiped them out, or had it? Numbers 13:33. There we saw the Nephilim, and we seemed to ourselves like grasshoppers, and so we seemed to them. Centuries after the flood, the Israelites entered Canaan, and what did they find? Giants, the Anakim, the Rephaim, the Zamzummim, all linked to the Nephilim. How could they still exist? Had some survived the flood? Or had the fallen angels returned, repeating the sins of the watchers? Some ancient texts suggest an even darker possibility. The spirits of the Nephilim, the birth of demons. The Nephilim were destroyed in the flood, but their spirits did not ascend. Book of Enoch 15:8-9. And now, the giants who are born from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and the spirits of the Nephilim shall afflict, oppress, destroy, and cause trouble on the earth. Did the Nephilim become demons? Many ancient traditions believe that the spirits of these fallen beings still roam the earth, seeking to possess and corrupt mankind. Are the demonic forces we see today remnants of the Nephilim's wrath? The Forbidden Book. Why was the Book of Enoch banned? The Book of Enoch was once read by early believers. Even the New Testament references it. Jude 1:14-15. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone. Yet, the Book of Enoch was removed from the Bible. Why? What secrets did it contain? Was it too dangerous? Too revealing? What else has been hidden from us? Final thought. The mystery remains. The Nephilim, the Watchers, the flood, and Enoch's disappearance, these are just pieces of a greater puzzle. Are the Nephilim truly gone? Or is their legacy still among us? And what other secrets remain buried in ancient texts? The mystery is not over, and together, we will uncover the truth. If you want to uncover more hidden biblical mysteries, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Let's explore the untold stories together.